So this is a lovely old nature walk I used to go on quite often when I lived out here. Some pretty fancy houses that are on the banks of this little stream. I discovered last time I was here as well, there's these Muscovy ducks living down here, which is kind of cool. I never knew what they were until I became a duck man. They've been here a few years. I think the two Muscovies I used to know at the park were, I think they looked a lot nicer than these ones. They seem to, I can't say that, I was going to say they seem to have more character, but I've only had little interactions with these ones. It's a pretty nice spot anyway. Lots of shade. So yeah, this was a nice little spot to hide away. Hide away after the Zuzet song. Just trying to think how to word this. I'm absolutely gobsmacked that there's a few different varieties of people that say that this, ritual abuse, behaviour modification, electro-lobotomy, domestic terrorism, whatever the fuck, is meant to somehow, it's meant to refine you or make you a better person or some bullshit. I mean, yes, it did actually help me have more empathy for prey, Prey. I gave up trout fishing. Still can't help but have a look in the water sometimes. I don't want to play a fish, catch a fish and play it for sport, for fun, because that's what they do to us, That's what happened to me, at least. Some jackass psychopath with fancy technology, fucking with me, and it's some weirdo child sniffing cabals, sport fishing of humans. So it did make me more empathic, at least towards prey, towards the vulnerable, but probably not towards, the whole of society. I had a lot of fucking contempt. It really did darken my heart towards, the flying monkeys, whether they're willing or conscious of what they're doing or not. I don't know. I'll never know that for sure. Forgive me, I'm going to eat it's a nut bar, ruminating on a nut bar. I'm a cannibal. I think I can hear a pig over there. That's pretty random. So yeah, nature walks are about all I've got in my quiver, in my arsenal to cope with, the big COVID abusive guests like Gulag. I don't really have any other moves. Weird niche humour that no one likes, that's the other arrow in my quiver. It gives me a bit of satisfaction. But it's kind of empty and hollow if you're making some humour and no one really appreciates it, or you're making some fucked up jokes, even if they do have lots of wit. But if you haven't had the ZZ sung and all that, you might not understand. So I kind of lose the motivation to try to write anything, do any activism or anything like that via writing or whatever, because most people won't get it. I don't know if it's ever going to happen to everyone. That's one of the remaining interesting things here is, will a lot of other people get fucked up like this, or are we like the guinea pigs, or is this never going to happen for everyone? Are we meant to make some art or write some books about it and be a little bit so-called prophetic? I don't know. Looks like a little bag of dog scat there. Nice peaceful spot, eh? How awesome would it be to have a tiny home just parked up somewhere like there and be able to have a little campfire every night? It'd be pretty magical. I used to have these kind of fantasies, God will provide, like the universe will provide, but it never happened, and that's the fucking truth, It's the truth, and I guess it's, of course, whose fault is it? It's mine. It's my fault, but I don't know how to do all that manifesty shit, and even if you do, then many of them in the end they seem to run off to Jesus and say it was all demonic. So I'm too afraid to try to manifest anything, and sadly in fucking reality world, it's just a pie in the sky dream that you could get to live in a tiny home and live in a little bit of nature and in a little bit of peace with a little bit of air quality, and be allowed to have a little bit of creativity left, without it being bombarded to oblivion via, noise, the ambient frequency mentacidal soup that we have to live in. We're forced to fucking live in, pretty much. I still will never know what the point of any of it was, other than to like dangle a carrot in front of our faces and snatch it away, give you a little bit of ability, bit of creativity, and then snatch it all away and shut it down. And I don't understand what the point of that was, apart from maybe just learning to give up and let go, which seems tragic, but taking away your hopium rose tinted glasses and all the rest of it, that's what it seems like to me. Just learn to say, so be it. I wasn't allowed to do that, I wasn't allowed to like write a book or use the creativity I did have. I don't know who this applies to, if anyone's listening. How do the chosen ones say it? Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's more like, I don't think anyone wants to hear this, but the bird-feeder man chosen one said it's all fucking bullshit. That bird over there is pretty cool though. It's a little fantail. Sometimes you can call them in. I was a little bit self-conscious to make that noise though. Yeah, they love it this time of night. They feast on the bugs. Yeah, I do kind of miss living out here. It's cool just being able to cruise on out of the house and not really by choice, more like just to be able to feel okay and get rid of that fucking anxiety and everything. Whether it be NPD imposed or, electro fucking frequency imposed. I still don't know why that magical warm spot on my bedroom's carpet was there for sort of 2 years and then it just magically stopped as magically as it started. That was weird. Don't know if that was just a microwave, Cheers Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and whatever the other creepy ones are. I forget the names. Used to have some of these by my pond. Gunners. They're a pretty stunning plant. Yeah, I missed that place. Had an epic pond and a water feature, and it was a really nice place to chill at night. Just enjoy the water sounds. That's one thing these young ones will never know, most of them, because just purely due to, the system that designs the way we live, just denying us of all of this. And I don't know how it's some good God's plan or whatever the fuck that they're fulfilling, but I don't think so at all. Strongly. But they'll never know what it's like to have a bit of land and look forward to like the weekend to do a project and improve their property. And I know that might just seem like sheeple matrix shit to some of you guys. I don't know where you're all at belief wise or whatever, but that really just that simple natural shit like landscaping or working on my little water feature or my fern garden, that really gave me satisfaction. Achieving like simple tasks. I would get out of bed energized, really fucking looking forward to it, looking forward to the day, and I'd even make a little list of things I wanted to achieve. And probably like 0.001% of people would ever have that luxury, because I wasn't working, I wasn't exhausted from work every day. And I was able to pretty much every day get up and work on that stuff, and it was so fulfilling. Have a little smoke beforehand and hang out with the dog in the garden, and we had a lovely time. And then at that point somewhere, I suspect, like looking back, I do suspect that that's when some of that organised stalking, whatever, manipulation of neighbours and stuff seemed to happen. Like more chemical sprays, more noise, more unbearable shit that just had me wanting to stay inside because it was too polluted outside. Too bad for the health to be out there. That stuff though, at that stage, this was like, 2008 maybe. It was all very plausible deniable, Maybe it all was just misfortune and shitty neighbours and coincidences. I could never say 100%, It wasn't like when the Ashkenazi psychopath with unlimited money moved in next door. That was undeniable. Like, unless you're totally fucking like a pussy ass delusional NPC, oblivious flying monkey minion of the system. That was undeniable. That was harassment. And it's a lovely little peaceful stream anyways. Yeah, this area is fucking expensive, but it's it's lovely. It's got like quail, and there was a hare loping down the road before. I use loping just to be a poetic edgelord. Let's see if we can find him. He's down here somewhere. Bird feeder man nature tours, eh? Nut bar ruminations. Forgive me, I can't help it. Gov turned me into a nut bar. You did it to yourself, mate. You see, the incredibly affluent, the incredibly posh understand the damage of noise. You see that lawnmower there? It's like one of those electric silent lawnmowers. So one of the endless trollings I went through when I was really fucking broken and PTSD'd and just, all primed to reactive abuse on anyone was there was a wealthy family out here that they've got a kid who's very, very highly sensitive, and I don't know what's wrong with him, what the term is, but he's been very, very sheltered his whole life. And they said to me one day, because the lawn mowing company had to come in and mow the lawns of their mansion property, and they said, like, Michael's very sensitive to noise, like, can he come and stay at your place today, Tim? And I just fucking almost burst out joker laughing, because it was given I've just been like Waco compound noise sieged by Ashkenazi psycho hired goon for like, for, what was it, 5 to 6 months, and all the rest of it, all the other fucked up like noise campaigns and marauding fucking 4-stroke motorbikes and all the endless shit. Got cows being microwaved and mooing their fucking minds off, brains out, and then she asked them, like, she asked me, like, would he be able to stay there to get some peace? And it's just like, oh my word. You go through endless stuff like that as a targeted individual. Just, you never get to explain yourself to anyone. You get all these like triggering one-liners that you just got to take and simmer and stew on, and you never get to actually tell anyone why that triggers you. So yeah, Michael would have had a quieter time at the Eastern Front, I think, with Stalin's organ. Whatever those things are called. Stalin's organ, weren't they called like Katyusha rockets or something? I don't know if they were in... Yeah, they were in World War II, weren't they? I've never actually been down this far. Oh, it's kind of nice here. Those cows are nice. when you're like really sensitive and traumatized. I remember hanging out with cows once, and there was like 12 of them and 11 of them. They all gathered around me in this semicircle, and they all started crying. It was quite amazing. Like I don't know if they were absorbing and purging my fucking pain or something, but there was one cow who didn't. He was probably the psychopath. I'm sure they do have psychopath cows, you know, to delouche the other cows. I'm not sure if delouche is the right term. Delouche would be like giving someone back energy, wouldn't it? I suppose just louche them would be the right term. Man, that's a peaceful scene, isn't it? Does feel pretty good out here. I do miss it, to be honest. My dog used to like chasing those birds over there, those pukekos. I used to be able to ramble on endlessly, but the mind kind of goes blank now. I just don't really have much to say. I am getting a few flashbacks of when I used to live out here though, and living with you know, the covert and overt narc, and trying to run a little farm with them. It wasn't really I don't know what you call it. We call it a lifestyle block here. It wasn't a profit farm or anything, but there's still a shitload of work, you know, cows and nut trees, and you know, even that alone is a lot of work, and especially when you've got a white collar narcissist, you know, overt narcissist, and they think they know everything, and you know, they know nothing, literally have like no blue collar skills or practical abilities, and that was just so demoralizing, you know. Fucking hell, man, what's that? That's loud. Man, that guy's going for it. I don't know if it's a gravel road. Yeah, this is the thing, man. Like, so many people Well, actually, I take that back. I don't know what percentage of people go through this, but they never tell their stories. If they got like bags of money, they might go to a therapist and tell them, and the therapist probably doesn't give a shit. But they just listen because they're paid, um, but there must be such a high percentage of people who go through like just decades of abuse, and they never have anyone to tell the story to. And chances are they probably never come across anyone who resonates with it, who could, you could just spend the day together reciprocating stories, like not trying to one up each other, but just being like, yeah, I can relate to that. Mine did this to me, and then you're like, oh shit, and you vibe, you just feel that energy exchange of compassion, like, and you could probably have a laugh about it, I had a laugh with another targeted individual who we ended up falling out, of course, but we had one Skype chat together, and it was really healing. We had a good laugh about one thing in particular, and I shed a couple of tears. It just felt healing, really healing. And finally, fucking have that emotional exchange. It felt fucking healing. There's got to be an eel down there, I would say, in that little spot. Anyways, I better get back to the car, I guess. I might walk along the road. It's going to be autumn soon. It's kind of melancholy time of year. Really don't enjoy the cold weather anymore. I don't know how you guys are, like, who've been through shit tons of trauma, but the hands always end up going cold, and it's just not pleasant. I can't imagine going through this COINTELPRO organised stalking, whatever the fuck, in a big city where you haven't got anywhere to go to get like a standing 8 count breather. Like out here I spent so many days just fleeing the house and just coming to the reserve or the bushwalk thing, or it'd still be like smoky pollution out there, which is pretty fucking bad, but at least like late at night everything would settle down and it would be a little bit cleaner air. Miss the campfires as well. I used to have there's like a firewood plantation, and I'd sit out there after about midnight when the air was clean, or like 2 a.m, and just have little campfires. It was really, really nice, eh? And it would have been nice to share it with someone who needed it, but it's always the way, you're always alone,